I never thought love would find me in the middle of an ordinary day. It was just a Monday. Nothing special. I woke up late, missed my morning bus, and had to walk halfway to work. I was tired, annoyed, and already thinking the day would be bad. But then I saw her. She was standing at the coffee shop near my office, holding a cup of tea, looking at the people passing by. She wore a blue dress, and the wind moved her hair like a slow dance. I didn't even know her name, but something in my chest said, "Look again." And I did. I watched her laugh at something the barista said. I didn't hear the joke, but her laugh was soft and real, like music. I stood there for a few seconds, frozen, thinking maybe this was just a moment I would remember, or maybe this was the start of something. The next day, I came back to that coffee shop. Not because I liked coffee, I actually drink tea, but because I hoped to see her again. And she was there. Same spot, same cup, same smile. I didn't know what to say. I was nervous. My hands were cold even though it was warm outside. But I walked in, ordered a cup of coffee I didn't really want, and stood near her. I looked at her and said, "Hi." She looked at me, surprised at first, then smiled. "Hi," she said. Her voice was soft, like a gentle breeze. "Do you come here often?" I asked, and she laughed a little. "Yes, almost every morning." I nodded and smiled back. "I just started coming here," I said. It wasn't a lie. I was telling the truth. I just didn't say why I started. We talked for a few minutes. Just small things. Weather, coffee, work. Her name was Sarah. She worked at a bookstore. I told her I worked in an office nearby. She said she liked mornings because they felt peaceful. I said I liked them because of people like her. She blushed a little. I liked that. She was kind, simple, not loud or dramatic. I could feel peace just standing next to her. The third time I saw her, I didn't wait. I asked if she wanted to sit together. She said yes. We sat at the corner table by the window. The light touched her face, and for a second, I forgot everything else. We talked more. This time about books. She loved reading. She said books were her best friends when she was a kid. I told her I never read much, but maybe she could help me. She laughed and said, "I'd love to." That moment stayed in my heart, like something important had started, something I didn't want to end. Days passed. We met almost every morning. We started waiting for each other. If she was late, I would wait. If I was late, she would wait. It became a habit, a part of life. I didn't tell her how I felt. Not yet. I was scared. Not scared of love, but scared of losing her. I didn't want to rush. I wanted it to be real. One day, I brought her a flower. Just one. A small yellow flower I picked on my way. I gave it to her, without saying anything. She looked at it, then at me, and smiled. She said, "You're sweet." And I knew in that moment, she felt something too. We started walking together after coffee. She would walk to the bookstore, and I would walk to my office. 10 minutes. Every day. But those 10 minutes were the best part of my day. We talked, laughed, and sometimes stayed quiet. But even the silence was warm. I didn't need to speak to feel close to her. Just walking beside her was enough. She told me stories about her childhood, how she used to write little poems in a notebook, how she once climbed a tree to get her cat down, how she cried when her best friend moved away. I listened. Every word. I wanted to know everything. Her favorite color, her favorite song, her dreams, her fears. She told me she wanted to travel one day, see the sea, watch the sunset in a different country. I told her I wanted to see the world too, maybe together. One rainy morning, we met as usual. But she was quiet, not her usual happy self. I asked if she was okay. She nodded, but didn't smile. I didn't ask more. I just walked beside her, holding my umbrella over both of us. When we reached her bookstore, she stopped and looked at me. "Can I ask you something?" she said. I nodded. "Why do you come here every morning?" she asked. I looked into her eyes. I could lie. I could joke. But I didn't want to. "Because of you," I said. "I come here because I want to see you." She looked down, then back at me. Her eyes were soft. "Me too," she whispered. And just like that, everything changed. After that day, we were more than friends. We didn't say the word love yet, but we felt it. It was in the way she held my arm, in the way I waited for her text, in the way we smiled without needing a reason. She started sending me pictures of books she liked. I started reading them. She brought me tea on cold mornings. I brought her small gifts, cookies, a pen, a notebook. Nothing big, just small things to say, I'm thinking of you. We started meeting after work too. Sometimes we walked in the park. Sometimes we sat on a bench and talked. Once, we watched a movie together. I forgot the movie. I was only watching her. One evening, we sat under a tree in the park. The sun was setting. The sky was pink and orange. She leaned on my shoulder. I held her hand. It felt perfect. Like the world stopped for a moment. I turned to her and said, I think I'm falling in love with you. She looked at me. Her eyes shiny, her lips soft. I think I already did, she said. I smiled and she kissed me. Just once. Just soft. But it felt like magic. Like all the stories and books were real. Like I was living a dream I never wanted to end. We started spending more time together. She showed me her favorite place in the city, a small hill where you could see all the lights at night. I showed her my secret spot by the lake, where ducks came close if you fed them. We laughed a lot. We fought sometimes, but never for long. We were different in many ways, but we tried to understand each other. I learned to listen. She learned to trust. We grew together. We made plans. Simple ones. A road trip. A visit to her grandma. Watching stars on her birthday. We didn't need big things. We just needed time. Time to be together. Then one day, she told me she got an offer to work in another city. A big bookstore. A dream job. But far away. My heart felt heavy. I wanted her to go. I wanted her to grow. But I didn't want to lose her. She said, what should I do? I said, follow your dream. She looked at me with sad eyes. And what about us? She asked. I held her hands. We'll try, I said. Love can travel too. She left 2 weeks later. We hugged at the train station. I didn't cry, but my heart did. We promised to talk every day. We promised to visit. And we did. At first it was easy. Calls, messages, video chats. But slowly life got busy. She had work, new people, new places. I had mine. We still loved each other. But it was hard. One night, she called and said, I miss you so much it hurts. I said, I miss you too. We stayed quiet for a long time. That silence wasn't warm. It was cold, distant. I felt like we were holding something heavy, trying not to drop it. A few weeks later, she came to visit. We met at our coffee shop. It felt like old times, but different. She looked tired. I asked if she was okay. She said, I don't know. I held her hand. She didn't hold it back. My heart sank. Do you still love me? I asked. She looked at me, her eyes full of tears. I do, but I'm tired. I understood. Long-distance love is not easy. I didn't blame her. I blamed time, distance, life. We sat in silence. Then she said, maybe we need a break. I nodded. I didn't want it, but I wanted her to be free. We didn't talk for months. I missed her every day. Her voice, her smile, her laugh. I stopped going to the coffee shop. I couldn't sit there alone. I focused on work, friends. But nothing filled the space she left. One day, I got a letter. A real letter, not a message. It was from her. She wrote, I still think of you when I see yellow flowers. I still read the books you liked. I still love you. My hands shook. My heart beat fast. I read the letter 10 times. Then I called her. She picked up. Hi, she said, like no time had passed. Hi, I said with a smile. We talked for hours. We didn't say much. But we knew. Love doesn't end. It waits. It rests. But it stays. She came back. Not for a visit. To stay. She found a job in the same city. We met again at the coffee shop. Same place. Same table. Same smile. I held her hand. This time, she held it back. I said, let's not take a break again. She nodded. Never again, she said. And just like that, our story started again. Not from the beginning, but from the middle, where we paused. And this time we didn't stop. We kept walking. Together. Life felt full again. We slipped back into our rhythm, like no time had passed. Every morning, we met at the coffee shop like we used to. She smiled the same way, laughed at my bad jokes, and held my hand like she never wanted to let go. We talked about everything and nothing. We didn't need big adventures to feel happy. Just sitting together, sharing a cup of tea, was enough. We started dreaming again. We talked about living together, finding a small apartment with a balcony where we could watch the sunset. She said she wanted a cat. I said I wanted peace. She smiled and said, we can have both. We walked through the park again, sat under our tree, and watched the sky turn orange. She leaned on my shoulder like before and I whispered, I'm glad you came back. She looked at me and said, me too. We didn't rush things. We took our time. Some days were quiet. Some were full of laughter. Some days we argued about silly things, like where to eat or what movie to watch. But we always ended the day with a hug and a smile. I learned to understand her silences. She learned to read my eyes. We became each other's safe place. Her presence calmed me. My arms gave her comfort. We weren't perfect, but we were honest. Slowly, love wrapped around us again like a warm blanket. And one rainy evening, as we stood under one umbrella, I looked at her and said, will you stay with me always? She didn't speak right away. She just looked at me with those soft eyes, then nodded. Always, she said, and in that quiet moment, with rain tapping softly around us, I knew we had found home in each other.